All right, friends, good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar on ColorWorks, our new and exciting digital print offering. We have two great presenters today, Mark Knight and Wendy Rowe. If you have an opportunity, give us a time zone shout out and let us know where you're listening from and the name of your company. Just real quickly, my name is Heath Watson. I am the VP of Sales here at RM Coco, and I will be moderating today's webinar. Before we get started, I just wanted to point out some other products that we offer here at RM Coco. We are a full service distributor of decorative fabrics and trims. We have decorative hardware where we offer 6 different hardware collections. We have a full service workroom where we can create draperies, top treatments, shades, bedspreads, pillows, and other home accessories. And of course, today we'll be speaking about our ColorWorks program. Just to remind you, today's presentation will be recorded and we will send a link to all attendees shortly after today's webinar. And you can share this with your team and others in the organization. And after reviewing the seminar, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your sales rep if you would like to have more information. So with that, let me introduce our two speakers today. Mark Knight has been the Director of Design with RM Coco for the past 7 years, and he has been in the fabric industry for 41 years. Mark has worked for and consulted with a number of both domestic fabric suppliers and international fabric mills. He has also won numerous awards, including Best Fabric Wallpaper Collection and Best Fabric Design over the years. Our other presenter is Wendy Rowe. Wendy is our illustrator and designer. She has over 20 years of professional experience of surface design. Wendy has a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Illustration from Ringling College of Art and Design in Sarasota, Florida. She also has a Master's of Art in Illustration through Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia. So with that introduction, I will turn it over to Mark Knight.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're so glad that you joined us. I know your time is valuable. We will try to keep this brief, but give you as much information as possible about our ColorWorks program today. RM Coco is very pleased to offer this multifaceted way to present printed fabrics to your clients. Our ColorWorks to the Trade offers an array of ready-to-print designs and colors that may be ordered just as you would any other printed fabric that you're currently ordering from any organization or company. But there are also custom options that are available with these prints. You can print the designs on any of our base fabrics for just the cost of the base fabric itself, and you may create a custom color for these designs that is just right for your customer's room setting. All of this is just available for a 1 yard minimum. That's pretty incredible. If you can't find the design that is just right for your project in our design library, you may send your own design to us to print or work with Wendy to create a one-of-a-kind custom design. We print all of our customers' orders on Wednesday each week, so the turnaround time is quite quick for both items from our design library or even your custom pattern. ColorWorks prints are extremely color fast and will not fade, crock, or bleed. Our ground fabrics all meet Wecotec standards, and all of the inks are GOT certified to provide a child-safe experience. For our customers, our prints are also extremely low waste and energy efficient. Our printing process generates 0 wastewater, and we offer several organic base fabrics to print on as well. Currently, our base fabrics are primarily constructed of natural fibers. Shortly, however, we will also offer and have the ability to print on synthetic fibers and wallpaper as well. In the coming months, we will offer a recolor tool on our website where you will be able to select your hex color and apply those to any design in our library so that you will be able to let your creative instincts arrange colors to your liking and see your creation appear online. To color a pattern from our design library or even your own custom colored design, you will need to purchase a color palette. We offer color palettes on all of the base fabrics that we offer for printing. The color palette offers over 2,000 colors to select from, and each will show a hex number below the color box. The hex number is the specific formula code for each color. It's recommended that you use a palette printed on the base fabric you plan to use for the final printing of your yardage. While colors do not shift greatly from cloth to cloth, The only way to see exactly how your color will appear in the final printed yardage is to use a palette printed on the base fabric you plan to use. We suggest that on any color design or fabric base change, that you order a 1 yard approval sample, as a computer monitor will vary from your office to your home, and you can't be assured what you will see on the screen is exactly what will print on the fabric. You can also assume that a color printer is not as accurate as it would be on the fabric. So it's very highly recommended that you do this 1 yard strike off for approval. Custom fabric can't be returned, so it's always best to obtain an approval sample. The cost of that sample is the price of 1 yard of whichever base fabric you plan to print the final yardage on for your customer. All of our fabrics may also be treated for specific needs for an additional charge. These finishes include green shield, which will help you create a performance fabric finish, acrylic backing for upholstery needs, NFPA 260 and NFPA 701 for commercial installations. And that's just to name a few of the after finishes that we can help you with our ColorWorks prints. To view our existing design library, simply click on the Custom Prints tab on our website. This will take you to the ColorWorks section. You can then click on View All Patterns, and you will see the entire design library and the existing colorways for each pattern. Select any of the designs, and you will see all of the details for that specific pattern. If you wish to change a base fabric, you can simply click on the Select a Fabric tab, and you will see all of our stock base fabrics. You may also order a base fabric deck or a color palette while you are in the Custom Print tab. You now have a 40,000 foot view of the ColorWorks program. Wendy will brief you on today's special topic about copyright, and then we will be happy to answer any of the specific questions that you may have that we have not answered for you. Again, we're so glad you're here, and we look forward to working with you on ColorWorks.
Well, all right. Hello, everyone. So under copyright law, what exactly is a copyright? Under the current law, you get automatic protection. It applies as soon as the artist's creative thoughts have been fixed in a tangible object such as paper, canvas, or a digital file. The copyright date falls in the year that the artwork was created, and the artwork is covered under international law and can't be changed unless granted permission from the original creator. The copyright protection lasts for the lifetime of the artist plus an additional 70 years. Now, the most common thing that I'm asked is, can I recreate, copy discontinued or retired patterns? And I can't copy them. I can't replicate them. When a surface pattern artist chooses, most of them choose to license their artwork or sell their rights outright to a new owner for unlimited use. But in most cases, companies like Coco will license art under specific terms of use. And when the license agreement ends, that's when the pattern is retired or discontinued by that company. However, the copyright is still active with the original artist. This is why we can't reproduce or copy discontinued or retired patterns. We would be in copyright violation. The artwork is protected, but the idea is fair game. So I can create a new pattern with a similar feel just using new original artwork. The copyright only protects the expression of ideas, not the ideas themselves. This is similar to when a whole bunch of movies come out that are basically the same idea, and you're just like, how many of these are coming out? But they're all different movies, same thing. The myth of the 30% rule. It's widely believed that if you change 30% of a copyrighted work, it no longer will be infringement and you can use it however you want. But that's not true. There is no 30% rule. Anytime you copy someone else's work, you run the risk of infringement, no matter how much or little you change it. Copyright protection extends beyond exact copies. Courts will look at the similarities between the works in context. If you copy any part of an image, you could have copyright issues. Now, creating a new pattern that is inspired by an existing design You have to make it 100% original. You can't simply add a stripe and call it new. You have to create all new motifs and a new layout. So like in this example, I created a new pattern based on this rose wallpaper. So I drew all new roses and placed them in a new way and came up with this new pattern for the client. The other way you can make something new is, in this case, we have the example of Queen's Garden in the Peony colorway, which is a licensed piece of artwork that we have in our collection. Whereas on the right is one of our ColorWorks designs, and it's been recolored with similar colors to make it have the same feel as that Queen's Garden licensed art, but it's a whole new design. And that's all I got. So if you have any questions, type them in.
Let me see if we have any questions coming in about the ColorWorks program. So Wendy, one of the questions is, can you explain how the pricing is done? If it's a really sophisticated print and it has a lot of colors in it, is the price, how's the price determined?
So the design fee runs $80 per hour. So I estimate how many hours or portion of an hour, whatever I think it's going to take me to finish. I've been doing it so long that I'm pretty good at pinpointing. I know exactly how long it's going to take me based on how complex the idea is, but you'll always get that estimate before I start anything. So you'll never be charged without agreeing to it.
Another question is, once it's been approved, how long does it take for me to get the fabric?
We print every week. So usually you're looking at 1 to 1.5 week turnaround start from the moment we submit the design to the time it arrives at your location.
Okay. Another question is, if they don't have really a design, like you were just showing just a few minutes ago, that you wanted to create something with a similar feel, can they work with you with a concept that they have and talk to you about that and see if they can create it?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you can think of, we can work together and I can put it on paper. Working as an illustrator, that's what I've done for the last 20 years, whether it be for books, book covers, fabrics. It's what I do. So if you have an idea, we can make it happen.
Okay. Another question, with the existing prints that we're offering that's on our website, do they have to print it exactly as is, or can they make changes to those prints?
You can make changes to the existing prints. If you want to modify something, it'll just accumulate a design fee based on how long I think that modification is going to take.
And we just had another question pop up. Just follow up again. Can you just go over again the design fees, how that works? Just one more time, please.
Yeah. So it's $80 per hour. And depending on the complexity of the design, I'll estimate my time needed to create the design or make the modification or recolor it. Usually a simple recolor is going to fall only like the minimum I can charge is a quarter hour. So $20 is a simple recolor, whereas a more complex design that might take 3 or 4 hours, could be $240 to $320 for the design fee. It just depends on what the pattern is.
Okay. Another question, how does this relate? And you may or may not know the question, but I think you may have been involved, Wendy. How does this also relate to wall coverings, or is this something for us to look forward to in the future?
We will have wall coverings in the future. We're not quite there yet, but when we get that ready to go, all of our designs will be able to be put on wallpaper, or you can do a custom just like you do on the fabric now.
So the picture you have behind us, we could do a fabric in that, and we could do either wallpaper or murals.
Correct.
On the wallpaper. Excellent. Stephanie Evans and Ebony Fulton, Rutherford's Design, asked, once a custom image is made or designed, do you now own that image?
We retain rights to the digital file. So that image has to be printed through us. If you wanted to have that image done somewhere else, you would have to have it recreated. We have the rights to well, I should say, we retain the rights to anything we create. If it's something that you upload or it's your design that maybe I just need to modify and throw into a basic repeat, you're going to retain the right to the image, but we'll retain the right to the file. So you can't just take it anywhere and print
But we
it
cannot reprint it for anyone else. It is your digital file.
when it's the uploaded files. But if we create it, if we choose to put it in our library, we have the right to do so.
Okay, this is a good question. It kind of speaks to profiling fabric, and maybe you can talk about that. Do you recommend a tool that will design with a repeat?
Photoshop is the go-to. It's what I use. And the newest edition of Photoshop has a very simple tool that you can use to put things in repeat. There's a design preview option, and you can draw your design and it will automatically, as you're looking at it, step it out and repeat all around, and it will automatically do the edges. If you draw half of a rose on this side, it's going to show up on the other side automatically.
And Winnie, part of what our service is we profile the fabrics, correct, for our customers?
That as far as
if they send something in, we're going to profile it for them, making sure that it's in repeat.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll preview and make sure whenever I make the file name to submit it for printing, I always go over it and make sure that it's seamless and looks good. If I find that there's an issue with it, I always email that customer and I do a digital proof of what it would look like as it is, and let them decide on how they want to proceed.
So I think I answered that question for Sarah. Sarah wanted to know, with submitted designs, do you all check patterns closely to make sure it's a seamless repeat, as in no weird tiny 1 pixel lines type of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I try to always scan through those really closely to make sure, because I know you don't want to print it and then end up having very clear box repeats.
Okay. I have a question from Christine, and Christine, maybe you need to just maybe explain a little bit more about your question. She asked, are you able to modify your fabric size?
The size of the fabric?
That's the question. So
Okay.
There's only a certain size that we can run through the printer.
Yeah. The maximum width is 54 inches is the printable width. The length, however, can go whatever amount of continuous yardage is on that roll. In theory. So we recommend that the repeats are divisible. The 54 inches, you want to make sure it's evenly divided amongst that. So we usually do 27-inch, 18-inch, 13.5-inch, etc. for the width of our repeats. So it steps across, and you can marry the edges because it'll be perfect on each side.
Okay. Christine also has another question. I think we can address this a little bit more in detail. So the custom fabrics that we can alter the colors, we can also alter the size of the pattern. So yes, we can do that and omit things in the pattern.
Mm-hmm. The only thing with adjusting scale on a pattern is we can always reduce. There's pretty much no limit to how much I can reduce, but we can only enlarge by 50%, I think is the cutoff.
Here's a great question. This is something we get asked all the time. Are you considering bringing outdoor fabrics into the ColorWorks collection?
So we are going to be adding sublimation to our printing options. And once we get up and running with that, we'll be able to include some synthetic fibers into our base fabric options. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can add some outdoor fabrics then, to be determined.
Yes, great. So I think we just answered the minimum print width. We just answered that. Do you get a CFA or memo once you change or create a pattern, or is it all a digital copy?
For approval, you get a digital proof image of it. And then when you've approved what you see in the digital proof, we'll go for that 1 yard strike off, which is the cost of 1 yard of whichever base fabric you choose.
Okay. Terry asks, can you copy something such as a piece of painted art and print on fabric without infringes on copyright laws?
If it's a very, very old painting, like a Renaissance painting that the copyright has expired on, I can put that on fabric. If it's still, within that, if the artist is living or it hasn't been 70 years after their death and no, descendants have re-upped a copyright, then it's fair game.
There are groups of images that have never had a copyright.
Yes.
For instance, William Morris designs are not copyrightable, so anything from the William Morris collection can be reprinted.
Yeah, if you find a lot of those Dover collections of kind of clip art, it's all, or they have different genres of books that are all uncopyrighted art that you can use in any combination.
Okay, great questions. Any other questions that we can answer for you in regards to ColorWorks?
I also want to mention that you can't screen grab an image from the internet. One, it's probably copyrighted, and two, the pixels there won't be enough pixels in it to print quality fabric. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, a couple more questions that came in. How do I know if something is copyrighted? If it's copyrighted?
If you you can do a reverse image search if you find an image that you want to use on Google, and usually you can find where that image came from. Most images you find are going to be copyrighted unless there's specific notation with it saying it's not, but always look for that copyright symbol. That's kind of the easiest. If you're in doubt, you can always let me take a look and I can yay or nay it.
Okay, great. And will there be a performance upholstery fabric option anytime soon?
Mark?
Well, a lot of the base fabrics that we offer now have high enough abrasion that they are upholstery worthy. If you want a performance like a Krypton style finish, that is what we consider green shield, and that's an after finish service that we can add to your fabric. It's not Krypton. But it has the properties like Krypton. It will, allow you to clean fabric. Water would bead up on the fabric, and we can do that for you after the fabric is printed. And there's just an upcharge for that finish service, but we do offer that.
Mark, we got a curious question from Laura. Any idea why William Morris patterns aren't copyrighted?
The estate of William Morris never applied for a copyright. Has never been out there. It's always been public domain type images.
Very interesting. If we create a custom fabric, do we need to put the copyright symbol on the design anywhere?
If you're submitting it for as a print ready file, you'll retain the copyright. As soon as you've put your idea on paper, you're covered by copyright. The only time you have to worry about registering your copyright is if you think if you're going to use it widely commercial and you are fearful that it's going to be stolen, because the only way you can go after somebody legally is if you've had it registered.
Okay, good question. How large should a picture file be to give a good image? I don't know. Did you address the types of files that we accept?
The preferred file type is PDF. Some really large files that are, for panel images can be TIFF files. We like 300 DPI for that's the preferred. We can do as low as 150 on certain images, but you're going to get a much clearer, crisper image if you stay with that 300.
Are printed borders an option rather than printing over the entire width of the fabric?
Yes, you can design, we will have it coming out in one of our releases. I've done edge borders that will print down the leading edge.
Okay. All right. Looks like we had another question come in. Can we get sample books of the fabrics that are available for custom printing? Sorry if this is already answered. So we do have sample color decks that are available to you. They're a nominal fee of $16.95, which contains 18 different paper cloths you can choose from. And you can reach out directly to customer service and place your order for those, or you can reach out to your sales rep and they'll be happy to help you. On the color palettes, if it was mentioned, the cost of the color palette is going to be determined by the cost of the base cloth that you select. So we have everything from $29.95 all the way up to $79.95, which is a silk. And that is your choice on what you would like to have the palette printed on. And it'll be a 1 yard piece.
Actually, I think it's a little bigger than.
Is it a little bigger?
Yeah, it's bigger
yeah.
than 1 yard, but you're
Yeah.
only charged for 1 yard.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question. Is there a possibility of custom trim in the future? Mark?
Custom trim, a printed version of trimming, is that the question, or actual trimming?
Well, it could be actual trim, but didn't we do something with like a trim design on?
Yeah, like I can print like a border or trim edge down the leading edge, but printing actual trim, I don't think we have the means right now to cut. And
Okay.
yeah, I think we're lacking some cutting equipment to make that happen.
Now, if you would like to do a trim border that you want multiple yards of, you can print an image, multiple times across the width, and then you would just get however much, a yard, 2 yards, 10 yards, and then you can slit those, but then you have to turn your edges back and sew them, but that's possible as well.
And I have done that before, so easy peasy.
And is there a minimum for the custom orders?
1 yard.
1 yard. So I will say that when you start looking at other companies that do digital printing or designers that have curated their own digital printed designs, the minimums can run from 3 to 5 yards. So a 1 yard minimum on this type of program is great. Got a couple more questions. Yes, printed was going back to the trim question. It was printed, yes. Okay, that's it. Any other questions? I will tell you that this program has been very helpful. It addresses several pain points that all of you face in the industry. The two primary pain points are discontinued fabrics and back orders. And time again, all of you have experienced at some time where you've shown a client a fabric and they've fallen in love with it. And then you go to place your order and it's discontinued, actually putting into jeopardy your design project. I was traveling upstate and we're getting ready to talk about ColorWorks program. And just in conversation, the client had shared with me that she had lost a $5,000 drapery job and the fabric wasn't even discontinued. It was just a lengthy back order of like 12 weeks. And the customer just canceled the whole thing on her. And so in this situation, what we could have done is taking that design, and as Wendy had shared earlier, we can create something with a similar feel. And to be honest, if you or your customer had the choice of making some changes to the print that they originally selected, you can make it even better. And it's absolutely custom to that customer and gives them that wow factor that they have something made specifically for them and you can save the sale. Same thing with this back ordered fabrics. With this program through RM Coco with ColorWorks, we will very rarely have any back orders. We are stocking deeply in the 18 base cloths that we're offering our customers. So that will hardly ever be an issue in using this type of program. So if you would like to know more about ColorWorks and get more questions answered, I would encourage you to reach out to your salesperson to schedule an appointment. They'll be happy to come by, show you the base cloth, show you the color palette, and show you some actual samples of the fabric if you haven't seen this in person.
You can also email me at colorworks@rmcoco.com, and I can answer additional, if you have other questions you didn't think of during this time or whatever. I'm always happy to answer anything.
And also, since we're talking about discontinued product, we all know that in our industry, product comes and product goes. The nice thing about our ColorWorks library is once a file has been created, it's never discontinued. We can always go back to that file and print it. 30 years from now, we can print what we have today.
Yes, that's another benefit of the program. Okay, if there's no other questions, everybody, thank you for your time and attention today. We know you're busy, so we appreciate you joining us on today's webinar, and we'll see you again here soon. Have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.